Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is June 10, 2023, and we are getting into the volume 114 of me answering your immigration related questions. As you can see, I have all your comments pulled up in front of me. Quite a lot of comments, new comments for the past couple of days. With the addition of the brand new visa bulletin for July 2023, if you haven't seen the video on this channel yet, check it out if you're dealing with I-130 family immigration petition. As always, before beginning this video, I'm going to mention I am not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State, yes, with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the very first question comment from Entertainment Industry Channel. Thank you for following up, appreciate it. So Entertainment Industry Channel says receipt date December 5, 2008. Ooh, that's a long time. The priority date is in 2008. Notice date 5/20/11, country Pakistan. So all chargeability area, I'm thinking probably F4. Immigrant, petition for relative, fiance, orphan, approval notice section, brother or sister of US citizen, petitioner state Woodland. Okay, so F4 for force preference category. Unfortunately, this is the category that takes, for all chargeability area at least, the longest to process. Again, I can personally relate because I have an I-130 petition for my little brother. And we got a long wait ahead of us, and looks like you've done most of the wait already because you have filed this petition for you was filed in 2008. So let's take a look at the visa bulletin and see. We're gonna look at the graph A because I'm thinking since it was 2008, you're already probably done with documentary qualification process. So we're gonna look at the graph A, F4. April 2007, and you are in November 2008. So you have roughly 1 year and, let's see, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So 1 year and 7 months, roughly, according to the most recent visa bulletin from July 2023. And that is for the availability of the immigrant visa. Obviously, there is some administrative processing here and there before the interview is scheduled, before you do the medical examination. So you're looking maybe at another few months. So roughly a year and 7 months if nothing slows down on the visa bulletin, which it tends to do sometimes. So you're looking at about 2 more years to wait, which is, you know, it's still a long time to wait, but considering that you've been waiting since 2008, you're almost there. You're almost there, and I wish you a little bit more of a patience. And like I said, I can personally relate because I'm gonna be waiting for a long time before we get anywhere close with my little brother. Okay, let's move on to the next. From Bishop Paul Mais. Yes, you pronounced my name right, Bishop Paul. I'm glad I did it correct. Let's move on further. Unfortunately, I definitely can't pronounce this name. Sorry about that. So, how long will it take? So that was a question on the form I-130. I'm from Japan, so that's Japanese, all right. My husband will do this for me, but he just got deployment from military. I want to start this visa. What should I do? Okay, great question. Thank you for asking. So I am, recommending as soon as possible. I'm thinking your husband is a U.S. citizen. As soon as possible, he can file this I-130 petition. The better. The faster he files it, the better, because you will be in IR category, immediate relative category, spouses of U.S. citizens, and the immediate relative categories, they take the fast, they don't, they still take some time, okay? They still can take up to like 2 years total for the whole administrative processing. But once your petition is approved by USCIS, the immigrant visa is already available. So you don't have to deal with backlog, like for example, the very first comment that I was answering from Entertainment Industry Channel. They are waiting since 2008. That is already 15 years. They are waiting for 15 years already, and they have to wait 2 more years because they're dealing with the visa backlog. This is what the visa bulletin is showing. For you, you don't have to deal with visa bulletin at all. Visa bulletin is not for you at all. Once the I-130 is approved by USCIS, the immigrant visa is already available. So it's just, going through USCIS with I-130 and then going through the NVC with, becoming documentarily qualified. And you can find the video on how to file I-130 on this channel. You can find the video on documentary qualification process on this channel, the interview for I-130 beneficiaries that go through the U.S. Embassy, and what kind of questions to expect. So really, all the resources, the process is pretty straightforward. Yes, of course, there are some fees that are involved here and there. There is some administrative processing, but for the most part, it is pretty straightforward. The only thing is just the sooner you start, the better it is, because if you start today, in a few days, your priority date is going to be June, whatever, 2023, which honestly you don't even need to worry about, visa bulletin and the priority date. But still, because there is administrative processing involved, few months with USCIS, few months with NVC, and then few months waiting for the interview to be scheduled, all that time accumulates, and overall the process can be pretty lengthy. So that's really the only recommendation I can give you. Just start as soon as possible. All right, let's move on to the next one from Awa Kum. Hopefully I'm pronouncing the name correctly. I was documentarily qualified in January 2023. Congratulations, so just recently. But I'm still not have visa appointment letter, and wife is a citizen and military for that matter. Oh, interesting. So both spouses are military here. What is happening with USA Embassy in Abu Dhabi? Despite that my visa category is IR1, it is almost 5 months of waiting. Awa, thank you very much for your question. So 5 months is normal, and I'm assuming Abu Dhabi, that's a destination. So I'm thinking U.S. Embassy in Abu Dhabi is pretty busy. So 5 months is normal. Most of the times it takes about 6 months to get the interview scheduled. Believe it or not, even in immediate relative category, I have had a petition myself for 2 people, for both my parents, and they were in immediate relative category, because as a U.S. citizen, when you file for your parents, that's immediate relative category. And they were waiting 9 months. 9 months for their visa interview. And I have seen from comments that some people were waiting as long as I think it was like 12 months. So like a whole year they were waiting for their immigrant visa interview, even in immediate relative category. One thing that I would recommend is you can do, it's worth a shot. Reach out to the U.S. Embassy in Abu Dhabi, and actually I'll show you where to find usembassy.gov. This is the website that lists all of the U.S. embassies in all of the countries. So Abu Dhabi, I'm thinking that's Saudi Arabia, so I wonder if it's going to be under S. Saudi Arabia, yep, there we go. Let's see if we get in Abu Dhabi, in Jeddah, in Dhahran, Riyadh. Or maybe it's not. How about we search and see if we can find it this way, Abu Dhabi. Maybe it is United Arab Emirates. There you go. That's why. It's not Saudi Arabia. It's United Arab Emirates. I haven't been to either. I definitely need to travel a little bit more because my geography is not good. But here we go. Here's the embassy in Abu Dhabi. Here's their phone number. Give them a call and say that, hey, I was already documentarily qualified. I'm in immediate relative category. My immigrant visa is available. I just wanted to see if you can tell me when the interview was scheduled for. Because chances are, most likely the interview is already scheduled. The only reason why you don't know the date when the interview is going to be is because they cannot send you the notice for the interview earlier than 30 days before the interview date. So for example, if your interview is scheduled for August 1st, they can't send you the notice right now saying, hey, your interview is scheduled for August 1st. They have to send you the notice July 1st, so that there is 30 days between the notice and the interview date, because they have to give you, by their regulations that they have, 30 days to get through the medical examination, which is, it's silly, but this hopefully that will change. But that is why most of the times you wait for so long, because the interview is scheduled pretty much immediately. As soon as they get the case from NVC, they just schedule the interview for the next available slot, and that's really it. So when you call them, and that's why sometimes it's worth it, because when you call them, they already know when the interview is going to take place, and it's not hard for them to open up their scheduling system, look up your name, look up your file, and say, oh yeah, you're scheduled for this and that. So give it a shot. Don't be upset if they don't give you any information, because they can say, oh, we can't give you the information, which is okay, fine, you tried, but now you know the reason why. Alrighty, so let me put this, and we're gonna move on to the next question from Sajjad Mahdi. How about USA filing for parents? Alright, well, we were just talking about that. So as a US citizen filing for parents, that is immediate relative category, which, still file it as soon as possible, because there is some process that is involved. You're going through USCIS. Once USCIS approves the petition, they send it to NVC. Then you have to become documentarily qualified with NVC. Once you're documentarily qualified with NVC, NVC sends the case to the US Embassy to schedule the interview. Once the interview is scheduled, your parents will have to go get the medical examination and then go for an interview date, answer a few questions, show a few documents, and that's really it. They're getting the I-551, which sounds pretty straightforward, pretty simple process, but there is still some time in between involved, and the whole process can take as long as, a year and a half, 2 years. It can definitely take as long as that. Like, for example, in my personal case, we were waiting about 9 months for an interview to be scheduled, and the embassy is not even that busy in the country where they were going through. So really, the only recommendation I can give you is just the sooner you start the process, the faster, you get this whole ball rolling, whatever the expression is, but you get the point. But, on the plus side, huge advantage is that it is immediate relative category, and you won't have to deal with the visa bulletin at all. So no backlog on the visa. Okay, moving further to the next question from Ogundair Olasunbo. Definitely mispronouncing that name, sorry about that. My priority date is February 7, 2017, F1 category. Okay, so sons and daughters of US citizens over 21, Nigeria, all chargeability area. The visa bulletin have moved to September 2017 for date of filing. Yes, I still can't access the portal. What should I do? Okay, so let's take a look. So it moved to September 2017 and you are February 2017. Okay, let's take a look at the graph B. So you definitely are not documentarily qualified yet, but the portal should be open for you. So September 2017, and your priority is February 2017. So right now, as of June, they're processing September 2017. And you're February 2017, so you are, let's see, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So you're like 6 months. So you're like 6 months already behind. So it definitely should be open for you. Okay, so for you, I would recommend reaching out to NVC, because they're the ones, who open up the portal. So I'm gonna show you. If you click, there's in the description of this video, there's a link for July 2023 visa bulletin. Click on it. You will have this page open in front of you. From this page, you're gonna click on Contact Us right here at the very top. Open link in new tab. I'm gonna open it in new tab just so that I have it here. And then you're gonna click on US Visas Contacts right here. We're gonna click on this. And then you'll scroll down a little bit and you will see this table, and the very first column right here, you will see Public Inquiry Form email right here. So we're gonna click on this. And then you'll scroll down again a little bit and you will see Online Immigrant Visa Inquiries Only Public Inquiry Form link. We're going to click on this link right here, and that will bring us to the Public Inquiry Form, and fill it out. You'll put the NVC case number, beneficiary's full name, beneficiary's date of birth, petitioner's full name, who are you, beneficiary or the petitioner, email address, and then in your inquiry, you will again introduce yourself. You will say, hey, my name is this and that, date of birth this and that, I am the petitioner or I am the beneficiary, I am in this and this category. According to the visa bulletin, I should already have the full access to the NVC portal so that I can start my documentary qualification process. And it is still not open yet. And, as of 6 months, you should have had the access, technically, by the visa bulletin. So just be polite, be professional, say, I wanted to follow up and see when my NVC portal will be fully open. Please let me know. If you want, you can go into the NVC portal, log into it, and take a screenshot of it still being locked, and you can attach the screenshot here if you want. It's not necessary, but you can do that. Also, if you want, you can attach in, I would recommend attaching the scanned copy of notice of action from the USCIS showing your priority date. You don't have to, because when you put the NVC case number here, the case will come up for them already and they will see your priority date. But still, if you want to, you can definitely do it just to make your inquiry a little bit stronger, and send it to them. They are pretty quick to respond to these inquiries. I've been getting comments from some people that had received a response within like 3 days after submitting these inquiries. So they definitely respond to these. They definitely stay on top of it. So this is what you definitely need to do, because yes, you are correct. As of right now, you definitely should have according to the visa bulletin, you should have the full access to the NVC portal. And then come back to this channel and please let everyone know, me and everyone who's watching these videos, how did it go and what they said. You know what? I'm gonna put this link right here. Might as well, so that you don't have to throw. You can just go to this link and fill it out. And yes, let everybody know what they responded. Don't be upset if they respond with some silly boilerplate response like, oh yeah, we are experiencing delay on your case or something like this. But you still do need to submit that case inquiry, because if they are not helpful, this inquiry allows you to seek help further, because you tried to reach out to them and they didn't help you. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Hexe Baria. All right, sir, what's its difference with the I-140 green card? Okay, great question, Hexe. So the difference between I-130 is that I-130 is a petition for a relative, and then the I-140 is practically exactly the same, but it's employment based. So it's a petition for a worker to immigrate to the United States of America. So let's say if you were employed for a certain period of time with a U.S. company, and you were employed as a non-immigrant, so you had a non-immigrant work visa, and then they lack you and they can't find a replacement for you, and you're just too good of a worker to let you go. They are willing to petition for you so that you can actually become a permanent resident in the United States, so that you can continue being employed with that company. So that's really the difference between the two. I-130 is family, I-140 is employment based. Okay, moving further to Joselito Corpus. Hello, I'm from Philippines, F3 category, my priority date February 10, 2008. When will my petition be current? National Visa Center, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Thank you. Joselito, thank you for your question. So let's take a look. Philippines, we know they have a separate chargeability area, and most of them, they take a little bit longer than all chargeability areas. So let's take a look. We know that it is F3. Let's see. I'm gonna start with graph A, and then we will see how long approximately it takes, and then if we do need to look at the graph B. So F3, Philippines, June 02. Okay, and then we have the priority date in 2008. So I'm thinking we need to look at the graph B, because I'm thinking, Joselito, you're not documentarily qualified yet, because there's still quite a lot of time to wait. So we're gonna go to graph B, and again F3, Philippines, November 2003. So November 2003, and you are February 2008. So November 2003, so it's like roughly 2004. So you're looking roughly at another 4 years, and like 4 years and 2 months and 3 months maybe for the NVC portal to open up, so that you can start, your documentary qualification process. Again, it's a very rough estimate, because the visa backlog, unfortunately, it only keeps on growing. I try to explain briefly in every video why there is a backlog, and the reason why is because these categories, F1, F2, F3, F4, these categories have limited amount of visas that are available each year, and then there's more applications that are coming in each year more than there's available immigrant visas. So the extra additional applications that are over the cap, they keep getting transferred to the next year, and obviously this number keeps on growing and growing and growing. So again, as of right now, it might be 2 years, 2 months roughly to wait for the NVC portal to open up. But as we go along, it might accumulate and it might end up being longer. But I would still recommend you, get prepared for, maybe you don't need to worry about it now. You probably have another, year and a half of just basically being patient and waiting for the time to move on. But little by little, start getting familiar with documentary qualification process. What does it entail? What documents you're going to need to provide, so that once the portal opens up, you already have everything, you upload it, and that's really it. You're done. Alrighty, let me put this here, and we're gonna move on to the next comment. Question from Patricia P. Patricia, thank you very much for another comment. Appreciate that. My daughter's priority date is February 2017, F1 category. So now that they have moved to September 1st, 2017, what should I expect in the next step of this process? Patricia, thank you very much for your question. Let's take a look at the visa bulletin so we know it's F1. F1 is right now, the total time is, we're looking at the December 2014 that the immigrant visas are becoming available for people who filed their petition back in December 2014. But looking at the graph B, basically when the NVC portal fully opens up, right now is showing September 2017. And Patricia, your daughter's priority date is February 2017. So you have a similar situation as Ogundar here. You are practically exactly the same situation. Wow. Exactly the same situation, because he's also in, I'm assuming that's he for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe Ogundar is a female name. I'm sorry about that if I'm not familiar with the name at all. But February 7, 2017 and September 2017. And you are the same thing for your daughter, February. So it should have been, the NVC portal should have been open already since 6 months ago. And if it is still not open, and I'm gonna ask you, Patricia, if you do know your login credentials for the NVC portal, the case number, the invoice number. Once you log in, if you don't have the portal open so that you can start documentary qualification process, then there is definitely a need to reach out to the NVC, submit the public inquiry form, and tell them, hey guys, this is me, this is my priority date, this is my category. According to the visa bulletin, the NVC portal should be already open, but it's not open yet. So please let me know when it's going to be open. So the same exact recommendation I'll give you: reach out to the NVC. That is, if the portal is not open yet, and log into the NVC portal and see if it is open. Then yes, you start the documentary qualification process. If it's not open, then reach out to the NVC. So here's the link for the public inquiry form, and for you, Patricia, and for Ogundar, I highly recommend. There is a video on this channel that I recently made. It's called Documentarily Qualified. What does it mean? Check it out, because you are really, really close to starting that process of becoming documentarily qualified. And in that video, I show a real NVC portal that was already documentarily qualified, so you can see all of the forms and applications that need to be submitted on it, the fees that you need to pay, the documents that you need to submit. So if you familiarize yourself with that stuff and you prepare, once it's open, you can take few days, maybe even 1 day, to upload everything, pay everything, and then that's it. Just wait for them to documentarily qualify you, and that's it. The hardest part is done. Now you're just waiting for the interview, and obviously the medical examination before the interview, but you can only do that when the interview is scheduled. Okay, let's move on to the next question from Elizabeth Hamidi. What preference is spouse of US citizens? I only see children and spouse of permanent residents. Okay, so that was question on the June 2023 visa bulletin. So Elizabeth, I have good news. You don't need to look at the visa bulletin at all. This does not apply whenever it's a US citizen filing for spouse. It's an immediate relative category. It's IR1, which there is no visa availability of the visa cap on that category. So once USCIS approves the case, the immigrant visa is already available. You just have to become documentarily qualified, do the medical examination, go through an interview, same stuff. But the difference is that you are not waiting for the backlog, you're not waiting for the availability of the immigrant visa. It is already available and waiting. So let me put this, and we're gonna move on to the next question from Twomson. Please, I am in IR1 category. There's IR1. All the comments today are like a chain. Everybody's connected. Please, I am in IR1 category. My priority date was 24 August 21st, and I am documentarily qualified in 27 April. Okay, so just recently, April, May, so like month and a half ago, less than a month and a half ago. When do you think I should get interview date? Thompson, thank you for your question. So IR1, immediate relative category, the immigrant visa is already available. So you're just now waiting for the interview to be scheduled. And like I said, most of the times it's about 6 months to wait for the interview. In my personal case, where I was petitioning for parents, it was immediate relative category, and it took 9 months. And I've seen somebody who said that it took 12 months. So it really depends on which embassy it is, where it is, how busy it is. And again, for you, I would recommend find the US embassy where the beneficiary is going to be going through the interview. Give them a call and say, hey, you know, I was documentarily qualified, immediate relative category. I just wanted to see if you can give me the information on when my interview is going to be scheduled. They might give it to you, they might not give it to you. It's worth a shot. It's really worth a shot to try and see. Just be polite, be professional, and that goes for everyone. If you're reaching out to government agencies, whether you are emailing them or submitting the forms online or calling them, always be polite and professional. I know some people that like to start some drama and try to prove and try to argue on the phone. It's better. It's a horrible idea to do that. Absolutely horrible idea. You're not helping yourself. You're being rude to the person that is on the phone, who is not even, can't even do anything much for you except maybe look up something and check on a few things here and there, and is not responsible for, for the problems that are happening with your case. So it really is pointless drama. So yeah, always be polite, always be professional. Sometimes they will give you information, sometimes they don't. If they don't, that's fine. You tried, say thank you. That's really it. You can also try emailing them later if you really want to be on top of this. But again, always be polite, professional, because when you're polite, professional, you can walk in and say, hey, thank you, I appreciate it, oh, I have to leave, okay, I'm sorry, I tried. You can do anything when you're a polite professional. All right, let's move on to the next question from Ruben Lewis. What happened to interview for 2007 F4 category June 2023? Okay, so let's take a look at F4 2007. Okay, so F4 right now is on April 2007. So I'm thinking, Ruben, you're depending on which months you're in, your immigrant visa is becoming, right around the corner, becoming available, which means that the interview should be scheduled somewhere right around the corner as well. They cannot schedule the interview until the availability of the immigrant visa. So once the immigrant visa becomes available, you're still looking at, few months here and there for administrative, all of them scheduling the interview, and then, so you still expect some administrative processing and waiting for some time. But it should be right around the corner now, really close. If you are in April 2007 or before April 2007, your priority date, then I would recommend reaching out, and I'm gonna post this right here. the public inquiry form for NVC, same thing, reach out and say, hey guys, you know, according to the visa bulletin, my immigrant visa should already be available. You know, I wanted to follow up and see what they say. But if it is, you know, after April 2007, for example, if it's September 2007, then you're looking at, you know, April, May, June, July, August. So roughly like 4 or 5 more months for the availability of the immigrant visa. But Ruben, you've been waiting for a very, very long time. It should be right around the corner now. I'm thinking possibly by the end of depending on when your priority date is, possibly by the end of 2023, but definitely in 2024, definitely should be happening. So you're almost there. All right, let's do one last question for today from Saeed Maknegia. Saeed says, I filed for my brother, priority date January 2011. Right now, file in NVC, received later from NVC April 2015. Now, how long to take? Okay, Saeed, thank you for your question. So, brother of US citizen, that's going to be F4 category, that takes the longest. And just now we've been answering. I'm telling you, today the comments are all connected. It's like a chain link of questions that are related to one another. And in this case, January 2011, we just seen April 2007 for F4 category according to the visa bulletin. So April, January, close, 2007, 2011. So you're roughly looking at a little bit less than 4 years. But again, it's a rough estimate because things, they might slow down as we go, but roughly about 4 more years, a little bit less than 4 years for the availability of the immigrant visa, that is. But I'm gonna take a look at the graph B now, F4, March 2008. So you're looking at another 3 years roughly for the NVC portal to become fully open so that your brother can become documentarily qualified through the NVC. Alrighty everyone, thank you for asking your questions. This will be it for today. I will continue obviously in the next volume with the rest of the questions, with the new questions that came in. Always grateful to receive your questions. Hopefully my answers were helpful to you today. Appreciate your time. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.